These are all been opened and processed.
When legal concerns come up about how votes are being counted or processed, election attorneys like Garrett Fay jump in on behalf of a political party, candidate, or voters.
If there's disputed ballots, if there's a dispute over procedure, one of the things you'll see is lawsuits get filed for people to try and change election laws.
Garrett has been involved in legal challenges in 5 major elections since 2010. He said election lawsuits are most often filed over races that are close and have the power to influence control of Congress or a state legislature or the outcome of a ballot proposition. But especially with the pandemic, they have increasingly been filed over voting access, procedures, and deadlines.
You want to make sure the law is followed, and so that takes a higher precedence than your candidate winning or losing. You want to see that the procedures that have been put into place are vetted and that they're carried out properly.
And that means a charged environment on election night at registrars' offices like this one in Orange County. Garrett says election attorneys used to huddle in close groups near registrar staff to watch ballots being counted, monitor voter signatures and addresses, and potentially raise challenges. But in COVID era, the process looks different.
Thank you.
OC Registrar Neil Kelly installed TVs for digital ballot observation.
These are ballots that have come in. We have captured the signature, and now they're reviewing against the original record.
Neil considers himself a bit of a referee or judge among the competing parties and election attorneys that descend on his office to observe counts in contentious races.
It's a very tense environment. It's ripe with conflict. It's not an environment that's pleasant, because people are agitated, and I understand that.
The ultimate goal is transparency and checks and balances that ensure voters' voices are heard and election integrity is upheld. One of those checks on the federal level is the U.S. Attorney's Office, which investigates election crimes. Mac Jenkins leads the Public Corruption and Civil Rights section for the Central District of California.
This year, of course, there's a lot of concern, I'd say heightened concern. There's a significant public narrative about election integrity.
That heightened concern prompted his office to triple the staff that oversees the handling of complaints related to claims of election fraud, intimidation, and voting rights concerns.
We've certainly, I would say, beefed up the resources to maintaining that fundamental American right, that people can go to the polls, vote safely, freely, fairly, and that the ballot process, in turn, is also free of fraud.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says it's continuing to digest intelligence and coordinate with the FBI to prepare for any issues that come up. But so far, it is cautiously confident voting in SoCal will be smooth and lawful.
This is really the democratic process in action, what it means to have a functioning republic.
And by understanding the process behind the scenes, the work of election attorneys, registrars, and law enforcement, Garrett hopes it inspires confidence in voters that people are fighting for a transparent process, one that leads to confidence in the election outcomes of 2020.